You know, I love the theme of this meeting, Matt, this one member at a time. And Doug talked about Sam's Club being our history and one member at a time being our future. And I was thinking about the fact that actually there's really some good history and heritage in one member at a time as well. And I remember thinking about the theme of this, I remembered a story that David Glass once told where he had been asked, what's it take to run a $100 billion company? And, David, typical fashion, he says, I haven't a clue. I have no idea how to run a $100 billion company. What we do is we run one store at a time, we run one item at a time, one customer at a time. And so, Matt, as I thought about what we really wanted to talk about in this meeting today, as we had a little bit of time with you all, is we wanted to talk about one member at a time, but as merchants and marketing people, we also wanted to talk about one item at a time and one experience at a time. So the last time that I was with you all, we talked about business needs, personal needs, and affordable luxury. And really all that was understanding that our members were expecting more out of that personal needs element of the shopping environment than we were giving them, and we were going to have to be better at that. It really is about relevance. And I want to talk about this a little bit. If you think about the way we've gone to market in the past, we have been more of a product-oriented organization, in that what we have done over time is we've just purchased items and we've put them in the club and we've hoped people will buy them, with some general understanding of who it is that we were serving and what they wanted out of the experience. But we really were trying to satisfy our own sort of taste and idea about what those items needed to look like in the clubs. A member orientation is one where we understand what members want out of this experience in the club, and then we go find items and bring them to bear, bring them into the club so they in fact get the experience and the relationship with Sam's Club that they're looking for. One of the things that occurs to me as we're looking at this, Matt, is when we talked about segmentation and where we were with 1, 2, 3, we really had the top half of this chart pretty well covered. Right? We were focused on C-stores, we were focused on food service entrepreneurs, we were focused on vending operators, we were focused on office administrators, and we were pretending like everybody else in the club was shopping just like everybody else. We never really considered that our Advantage member base really had some uniqueness among their behavior groups as well. And I think that was probably the key thing, the key learning for us. But Matt, I'm listening to you talk, all right? And this sounds like just like a bunch of data. And we're just talking about, pictures on the screen and all kinds of research that we've done and how many different hundreds of millions of surveys and all that sort of thing. But this really isn't about all of that.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not. It's about, real people. Right. It's about real customers that we have in our doors, our members. And it's about their lives. It's about their dreams. And I don't know how to start off any more powerful than those messages we just heard about who those members are and what they mean to our company. And how we can better serve them. That's what segmentation is all about. It's how now we can drill further into knowing what those members want from us, how we can provide more for them, and ultimately how we can serve them better, Greg.
You bet. We have a higher calling, Doug. You talked about it. We are here to serve people and to help them pursue those dreams and aspirations. Right. And of course, Matt, there's opportunity to drive a little revenue for the organization as we do that a little better. Isn't that right?
There is. As we looked at segmentation, I think the most important thing is that we have found real opportunity.
You got to have items. You talked about this a little bit earlier, Doug. This is an item business, and there isn't anything that we're talking about today with respect to segmentation. There isn't anything that we're going to talk about with the way we're going to channel our communication and all that sort of thing that is going to take away from the fact that we are merchants, and we are going to be an item business. The fact of the matter is, the only reason members give us money is because we have items that they want, right? And so the objective that we have is to leverage what the Insights Group is going to be able to do for us so that we can sort of load the guns of the merchants and we can be more relevant in the items that we choose, in the price points and the values that we create, in the clubs that we put them in, and in the segments that we address. Does that make sense to you? So, but if it's really going to work, members have to relate to the items, right? And we had an opportunity. So magic happens for us when items meet the members' expectation of their experience, when they meet the needs, when they meet the quality and the value, and we have the right items in the right place at the right time for members. That's when we're really able to drive sales. Could we, in fact, continue to drive relevance with our small business owner and then improve our relevance and drive share with that Advantage member? We've never proven to ourselves in the past that we could do that. And frankly, if we had just had this conversation about segmentation and did nothing about realigning the organization and saying, boy, with all of that information, can I create an organization that can use it and drive relevance? And we said, you know what? We have to do this. We have to think about this differently, and we've got to forget about this product orientation that we've had in the way we've been aligned, and we need to be aligning around our members, those people who we are here to serve. And we have to align around them. If we're going to be truly member-centered, then we need to learn how to think like them. We need to understand what it is that they want out of their experience, what they want when they walk through the doors, and do the very best job we can to provide it, and try to eliminate the debate that goes on between should I put in this SKU plan, should I put an Advantage item or a business item when I have an open SKU? Because when I'm wearing both hats, it's virtually impossible for me to get that done. What we're doing in this organization is we're giving people an opportunity to become expert and to develop strategies so that we can drive relevance in these consumer segments, and they can do it without worrying about what trade-offs they may have to make on the Advantage side, because there are folks over here that are worrying about them. And they're making sure that we're driving relevance with those demanding experiential shoppers and the active boomers. The other thing that this really gives us an opportunity to do is you're going to see on the merchandising floor that we're going to make item decisions that are more focused, but we're also going to do some things with adjacencies that can happen in an organization that's designed this way. And the other thing that can change and another place that we can drive some greater relevance is in member communication, isn't it right?
You're absolutely right. Just like Greg just went through some new opportunities, how we're going to be serving our members better, whether it be Advantage members, Greg, those business members, we're going to do the same thing with our communication, our marketing, our private brands. Everything's going to be around those member segments. So you could say our prior communication strategy or how we marketed to our members was kind of this one-size-fits-all. We had the in-business for small business on every piece of material, Greg, that we sent out to our members. So, but by doing this, we're just not talking to our Advantage members like we should be. We're not being relevant to CEO mom by saying in business for small business. I met a CEO mom this morning. She said, you're not talking to me by saying that you're in business for small business.
That's right.
So going forward, we're going to target our communication to each of the segments. Design talk pieces, marketing pieces, Greg,
right,
that talk to those members by showing them the items that they want to see, the services they want to have at the right time of the year that they want to buy from us, how we can serve them better, targeting the communication specifically for them.
We've been talking about real members, and we've talked about segmentation, and we talked about the fact that it's just a means to an end, and we've got to be able to put faces and names and dreams and aspirations behind the folks that we are serving in that segmentation study. We've talked about real items. The fact of the matter is we create the experience through the items. Our members come to us for the items, and we have to have the right items and the right value, and we have to have them in the right clubs. And we've also talked about real impact, right? We've talked about the ability to improve this business, but I wonder really if we've talked as much as we could talk about real impact. And what I think I'd like to do, if it's okay with you all, when we have a couple of more minutes, the members that you were introduced to this morning on the video happen to be here with us in the audience, and I'd like to invite them to come to the stage if you would. Willie, if you would come, and Jeff and Kim and Bob, if you all would come and be recognized, we would appreciate it.
How you doing?
Willie, thank you, sir. Jeff, God, just come up. Thank you. Folks, these are real members. These are the real faces, as I said, the dreams and aspirations behind that segmentation discussion that we just had. And I thought maybe I'd ask one or two of you, if I could just ask just the quick question. Does Sam's Club make a difference in your life?
Well, time is very valuable to me, and I think I can speak for most people in saying we have very little time to waste on a day-to-day basis. And so it makes a big difference in my life because I can always come there. I can get good quality merchandise at the best price. And I come for everything, whether it's electronics, office equipment. I don't have to waste time searching in other places because I know you have the best price.
You bet, you bet. Thank you. Willie, would you like to make a comment about Sam's Club and what Sam's Club means?
I told him not to give me this mic. But yes, Sam's Club has made a difference in my life because I like clothes, and I bought expensive clothing, and I've gone to Sam's Club and shopped. I found microfiber slacks at a reasonable price, and I'm a comparative shopper. I look for things. I may drive 50 miles to get something for $10 less, but that's just the way I was brought up. And not only does Sam's Club make a difference in my life, I work for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and they've often provided us with opportunities to take young people to camp. And I think all of you ought to know that, and you to be commended on providing those opportunities for the youth of America.
That's very good. Thank you. Thank you, Willie. Thank you. So folks, as we go through time and we continue along this path and this journey toward segmentation, don't forget what it is we do and why we do it and who we do it for. Y'all just keep it real going forward. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Sharon, I can remember about 4.5 years ago when you started with the company, you were so passionate about our business and wanted to get so involved. And I can remember the emails you were sending, the requests you were sending and everything. And then some wonderful person introduced you to the Good Link. And I remember getting these emails from you at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was thinking, my God, does this woman never sleep? But then finally, I think you got it. And I no longer have that twinge that I once had in regards to all the emails that I was getting.
Okay, so Joe's always a great partner for telling me the way it is, which has helped me along the way. I think she's making some of that up. No, but oh well, I've gotten better. Okay, I'm working on it. But one of the things that for me was a defining moment with the company, it was a humbling moment, was when I had my first 360-degree survey. It's a lot like the leadership surveys, and we call it PDI. And I'd been with the company about 8 months. And I got the results back, and the results showed that I was in alignment with my boss, I was in alignment with my peers, but my team wasn't with me. And that was probably the hardest piece of news that I had. And feedback sometimes is challenging, but I appreciate that I got the feedback then because I knew I had to change right away. And think about when you get your engagement results back, or you get your leadership survey back, or you have your performance evaluation. You have 100 to 200 eyes watching you to see if you're going to change your behavior. And when you get feedback about your behavior, that's not something that you schedule in a couple weeks to change or when it's convenient. They're looking for a significant change right away. So I knew that I had to change my behavior. What it taught me about our culture is that we're all about getting to know our associates and understanding their interests and their needs and helping to develop them so they can achieve the dreams that they want.
And Sharon, you know what's amazing is about in 1992, Mr. Sam passed away. And when he left, I'm pretty sure some people were thinking, man, where will the company go? But at that time, there was about 371,000 associates with the company. Today, we're a little bit over 1.8 million associates in this company, Walmart Stores, Inc. And what he left with us, or part of the legacy that he left with us as a company, is our culture and the importance of our culture and what we need to do as leaders to continue to precipitate that culture down. Each of us is responsible for our own legacy. The way you run, the way that you pass the baton determines our legacy at Sam's Club. So it's important that we don't drop the baton, that we hold it tight, and that we run with passion to ensure that we're staying true to what our culture is about.
It's important that you know that you are the driver of engagement. It's you that sets the pace. It's you that determines the focus, the action plan, how you're going to overcome obstacles, and how you'll finish at the finish line. Club support can give you a lot of ideas about engagement, and we'll share some of those with you, but you're the driver. You need to make it specific to your club and specific to your associates' needs. And it's what you do every single day that counts. Now I want to talk a little bit about the difference between incrementalism and big, hairy, audacious goals. If we set a goal of 4%, odds are pretty good that we'll come in somewhere between a 3% and a 6% increase, but that's just being incrementally better. If you set a big, huge, hairy, audacious goal and you set your goals high, that's where you're going to end up. If you want to have high goals and high aspirations, that's where you lead your teams to, not to incrementalism. So Joe, why don't we talk a little bit about some things we can do, or that club managers can do to improve engagement?
Some things that we can do, or some things that you can do to help and to work towards consistent long-term engagement sharing in the clubs will be CBWA, coaching by walking around, taking time to be an active listener to your associates, show that you care, and being available for them. The other piece would be grassroots meetings. Participate in your cashiers' meetings, whereas you actually take the time to find out what's impacting their business and what can you do to help them to be more efficient. And also, too, solicit ideas, too, from them as what can the club do to also, too, run more efficiently. Whenever there's an issue, ensure that you actually address it quickly and take care of the problem. And maximize associate touch points. Find out for your personnel training coordinator when your associates' birthdays are and tell people happy birthday. Instead of the personnel training coordinator being the one to give out paychecks, you give the paychecks out to your associates and you thank them for the job that they do for us. Those are some things, Sharon, that we can do.
I want to talk about how impactful our associates are to our members. If our associates are engaged, our members are engaged. So there is a link to how our associates are engaged and how they treat members. So I've got a challenge for you. I need you to write this down. This is a go-do, but I'm calling it something else. I'm calling it a member recovery challenge, because how we handle our members' issues is kind of the acid test for how we can build their loyalty. So what I want you to do, everyone that works in a club that's in the audience, is I want you to contact 2 disgruntled members. And you'll know who they are because you've probably heard of the situations. Contact them in person, particularly if they're a small business owner, or by phone. And find out what their concerns were and resolve those issues. And make a commitment towards making them a very engaged member. So I want you to do this before March 1st, so between when you get home and March 1st, and then email your RGM and your market manager and myself with the results and what that experience was like, because it's critical that we reach out and solve those problems timely.
The great thing about this job, besides the fact you get to be in the press all the time, is really what you see. How much of this world you get to see, the people you get to see, and kind of the daily contact with human life that we have as a company. And it manifests itself in a lot of different ways, from walking through a Sam's Club and visiting with associates and talking about what's selling, what isn't selling, checking out the Sam's Club Cafe and having one of those great hot dogs, which is what I do every time. And once in a while, the ice cream sundae with the berries. But also, because of this job and because of Walmart, it gives me the opportunity to do a lot of things that many of us don't get the opportunity to do. I get to represent this company with a lot of people that we see on TV or that we only hear about. And in the process of going through the last several years, what I've done many times on my way home from the UK or from China or from Saginaw, Michigan, visiting a Walmart store or Sam's Club, is to write down, what did I learn? What did I learn today? Is there any observation about life? And so what I want to do is take about 30 minutes. I want to run through some of the things that I've learned in this job. Hiring people better than yourself is the most effective way to build a career. I sit on this stage today as the leader of what is, I believe, the greatest company in this world. Solely solely because I hired someone who was better than me. And instead of being dangerous to my career, it catapulted me. That is true for each and every person in this room. If you believe that having a job that every morning requires you to walk around that says, move this pallet, move this sign, move this pallet, have Mary do this, have Bill do this, have somebody do this, and that is the road to success and to building a career, you are absolutely incorrect. Because what it will ensure is that you can't take vacation, you can't take your days off, you can't do anything, because you're not allowing your people to grow, you're not surrounded by people who are challenging you and who can do those things on their own. Another thing I learned is most of what you say the first time will be misunderstood or ignored. Now that may not be true for you, and it may just be the 7 people who report directly to me. Chambers. But I mean, I think that is true, because much of what you want to do is kind of bigger than just the words that come out of your mouth. And people have a lot to do. It's not that they want to ignore you. It's simply that there's so much going on. There's so many moving parts in a club. There's a lot of moving parts just in an area like the tire area of a club or receiving. It's not that people really say, I'm going to ignore this person. It is just, how do they assimilate it? I think Paul Heim used to run marketing at Walmart, and he said, repetition is the queen of all learning. And I think of that with Sam Walton. Sam Walton talked to us about the same things week after week after week. There are people in this audience that believe that one day Sam Walton came in and said we ought to have people greeters, and we had people greeters. Sam Walton repeated the idea of people greeters that he had seen in Louisiana for 1 full year. 1 full year. And at the end of the first year, Sam Walton said, as the chairman of the board of this company, I reserve the right to tell you we are going to have people greeters. He had been misunderstood or ignored for a year, even as Sam Walton. So don't think it's any different for you. Another part of that, though, is that when people know what you want, they will often give it to you. You have got to specifically help people understand what it is you want. Sometimes we do it because we don't do it well because we're in a hurry. Sometimes we don't do it well because the truth is we just want the results and we're not even sure ourselves how to get them. But that's where I see the great market managers sitting down with club managers and talking about, what is the problem? This is a partnership. It's not one person dictating to another. And I'll tell you the thing I found about this company, it takes all of us, every single one of us, to make this thing work. All 1,800,000+. Another thing that I thought about after a trip I'd made out of the country that wasn't a very positive trip, is having good intentions does not guarantee forgiveness. It's nice that we are well-meaning, even as a company. But it doesn't mean when we do something bad that people are going to get up and say, oh, that's okay. They had good intentions. Quite honestly, we are not paid just to have good intentions. We're paid to have good intentions and execute on those intentions. Another one, though, is the ability to give honest, constructive feedback is a rare talent. I learned that because he gave me constructive feedback. Now, what is it I think about it? Here's what I think about it when you don't do it. I think when you do not give constructive feedback, you steal the future from your associates. It is not a game. It is not a game. There are 1,800,000 associates at Walmart. What are the chances that there got to be hundreds of thousands who could be outstanding in their career if they are developed the same way, with the same kind of positive interaction that I got from Don Soderquist? You have an obligation, not a choice, to give constructive feedback. Doesn't have to be mean, but it has to be constructive. Another thing I learned in this process, though, is that very few people ever feel they are on top of things. There is an underlying fear of failure. It doesn't matter if you're an EVP, a vice chairman, a CEO, the chairman, if you're the department manager of electronics. Everybody is feeling like there are more balls in the air than they can ever manage all at the same time. I had somebody tell me this new year, that they were going to turn a promotion down because they didn't have everything perfect in their area. My response to them was that you will never, ever be promoted, because I don't know anybody's area that is perfect. The real key to it is figuring out which of those balls you're juggling really matter the most. And how do you prioritize that? And how do you get that associate ball up there so it never drops? How do you get that member ball up there so it never drops? How do you prioritize? Because I got to tell you, all of us struggle with this feeling like we have everything under control. And if we ever do, it's a very temporary feeling, isn't it? It changes very quickly. Another thing that we talk about a lot in the company, but I believe it is so critical, and that is that integrity is the single most important characteristic of a leader. It just is. It is. The integrity I'm talking about is a little like the ego thing I was talking about. It's the things I run into where the club manager says, if I could, I would give you that raise. You deserve that raise, but the company won't let me. It's those things where you take the easy way out or the shortcut, or I wouldn't let you go, but my market manager is making me, or the market manager saying, I wouldn't demote you, but my regional is going to make me do that. Or a customer that's, that you're taking care of, that you say, the member policies won't allow me to take care of you. It's the buyer, for you Sam's Club's buyers. It's the buyer that says, yes, we're going to do business with you. Yes, we're going to do business with you. I'll call you in 3 weeks. I'll call you in 2 more weeks. And then has the assistant, the next time the supplier calls, say, I'm sorry, but the buy for the spring season is closed. That's integrity. And that's the integrity that will get this company in trouble. It is the everyday basic level of integrity we have in dealing with our suppliers, our communities, our associates, our members, and with each other. That's what will determine, really, whether we're a company that is based upon principles and high morals, or a company that takes the easy way out whenever it's possible. Another one I wrote down is that sharing praise is a compromise. Give it all away. I remember Sam. Sam would take that yellow legal pad, and on a Friday morning, we'd sit here and you'd have, there's only 20 people in Friday morning meeting, and you'd have a table, and it'd be a square. And I always sat way over here because with all the people on his right trying to get close to him, he couldn't see me unless he leaned way. And if he couldn't see you, he wouldn't ask you about your P&L. And so I would always sit over there. But Sam, when he would walk in, he would just walk in and he'd take, when things were good and we had a good P&L, he'd take that yellow legal pad and he'd hit me on this shoulder as he went by, and he'd say, gosh, great month, Lee. Great month for your team. Wouldn't you? So much today, I would love to stand on this stage with a yellow legal pad and be able to hit all of you on the shoulder and say, I am so proud of Sam's Club. I am so proud of what you are doing. I can't do that, but I feel that. And I wish you could feel that same sense of that SWAT that makes such a difference when you take the time. I mean, here I am, a grown man who has a big job, and I am still thrilled that one man would take a legal pad and take the time to just touch me and say thank you. You know the meetings you have with your associates? They showed one on up here. How many times have you been in a club or a store and you've seen a meeting with associates where people are all sitting around in the back, they're talking, they're doing whatever else, and there's a core of 3 or 4 or 5 people who are actually listening, but the manager is going through the process because the process itself is required. It's not a process about we need for people to understand what's going on in the company. We need for people to feel a part of this. We need to understand what people are thinking so they can give us their feedback. The requirement is that you have a store meeting and that you speak. There is no requirement that we understand, did anybody get anything out of that? That's what I'm talking about. The requirement really is in our roles is that we understand what did they hear? And is it something that is going to cause them to be more successful and in turn us as an institution to be more successful? We're different. And because we're different, we get different results. We get different results. But there is a price that you pay to be different. Most of our competition is not willing to pay that price, and it gives us an advantage. So anyway, I said I wasn't going to give you a speech, but I have, in this job, because of you and because of this organization, I have so many opportunities to see things I would never have dreamed that I would see, and experiences. And so what I try to do is to think about them. What does it mean? What do you learn from it? What do you need to know about it so that I can share it with you, and maybe without having to go through some of those things that I've done where I've not been as good as I should have been. Maybe you can learn from those. We have a great company, and we have so much upside.
All right, Steve, we're going to talk about something that's really critical to us, associate and critical need. You know, that program is, we talk about culture in our company.
Yes, sir.
That is our culture, taking care of our associates. Correct? Everybody? Think so? Fantastic. There's a couple of people out here. I don't know where Brad, let's see, I don't know where they're at. Is Brad Fisher here? Brad somewhere up in here. Okay, stand up. The foundation's done a great job for us, and we'll appreciate them. Steve, why don't you walk us through what we've done this year?
Sure. Through this year, you have to look at it. 7,000 associates have been helped, totaling $5.7 million to the foundation. So that's absolutely fantastic. Since the inception in 2002, it has been over 12,000 people who have been affected by it. So great way to go. These are some of the ways you can contribute: your bi-weekly payroll deductions, the one-time annual donations. Don't forget, January 31st, that's dropped off. So anything helps, folks. It's a great way to give back. The tribute program, Kenny, as well, is another way. The incentive bonus, check deductions, it's on the wire. You have until March 1st to go ahead and get that done as well.
Steve, also the 2-for-1 on the wall pack contributions. Make sure that you go in there. That would help us out on the political side of it. But the bonus part of it is on now. There was a problem with the site, but they've got that fixed right now.
Good deal. The foundation receives hundreds of letters a week, and what you see up is just 2 of the letters that they get. But they actually pull out 153 grants every single week, and this year they've had 12,000 requests for help. So as you can see, folks, it's a great opportunity to help our associates.
Our associates appreciate what you're doing out there. And I didn't mention Sean Jones. Sean, you up here. Sean has taken over for John Lawrence, does a fantastic job for us. So write that name down because he can help you in any of these grants.
Yeah. And you know, you talk about one member at a time, folks, but it's also about one associate at a time.
My name is Mike Cantor. My PSP was to diet and exercise and lose weight. To date, I've lost 44 pounds in 9.5 weeks. I've really just been watching what I eat, eating more healthy foods, salads. I've cut away from the fast foods. I haven't eaten fast food in the last 9.5 weeks. And the exercise program daily. I come home after I get off work and basically ride my bicycle. Start out with just 2 to 5 miles a day, and now I'm up to 15 to 20 miles per day. One of the things I really believe in setting the right example. So it was very hard for me to get up in front of a group of people and say, here's a great program, get involved, if I wasn't totally involved with it myself. So I felt if I set the right example that I could get more people involved and more people excited about the program.
My name is Mike Kantner, and I'm the club manager of Sam's Club 8168, Indianapolis, Indiana. And my PSP is to exercise and eat healthier, but I'm not the only one.
My name is Kim Nicholson. I've worked with the company 16 years. My PSP is to eat healthy and lose 40 pounds, and I am halfway there. As a result of the PSP, just in my location, we have 9 people that have quit smoking successfully. We have had over 15 partners lose weight and start exercising. PSP has helped me further my own goal in life, that I'm here to help my fellow mankind wherever I can, no matter how small or how big that may be. So if I can encourage one person to become a better steward of this planet, then that's what I'm going to do. We are 1.8 million associates. If every individual does their part, together we're going to make a huge impact.
Hi, my name's Kim Nicholson. I'm from 8168, Indianapolis, Indiana. My PSP is to eat more organic products, become healthier, and lose 40 pounds. And I am 25 pounds there now, so yeah! And I'm not the only one.
My name is Leslie Laney. I've been with the company for 14 years. I'm the Sustainability Market Leader for Market 59, and my PSP is to help preserve the wetlands at Knights Elementary School.
She was asking people to donate their time. I decided to sign up because it's for the kids, it's excitement. It's a personal experience. I have a 4-year-old, and I would like it to be a better place when she grows up. 1, 2, 3.
I came up with this PSP project by talking to my stepmom about how the school was trying to preserve the wetland area that they have here, and that they needed just some helping hands.
We need lots of manpower. We need lots of help. The children are enthusiastic and try, but we need lots of muscle too.
Is it fun?
This is your 100th time.
Have you heard about the boardwalk that we're going to build out here? So you can have class inside there? Would that be cool?
Well, we're going to take this wetland and have a boardwalk coming through in different angles. So they can cut through the banana trees, through the oak hammock, through the little swampy areas, so they can actually see the different parts of a swampland. So we're going to turn this wetland into a massive classroom.
I hope what we're doing here inspires the 1.8 million associates that Walmart and Sam's Club has to get out in their community and do something.
Thank you, Sam's Club!
Hi, my name is Leslie Laney, and my PSP is to help preserve the wetlands at Knights Elementary School.
Since we started the PSP program, I didn't really know what a personal sustainability practice was. I was told to get on a conference call in about an hour and be prepared to talk about sustainability. Now, I thought we were going to talk about the environment, cleaning up, recycling, doing those type of things. We got on there and we started talking about exercise, personal wellness, and those type of things. So I got off the call, and I called my market manager, Charlie Wagner, back. I said, Charlie, you got the wrong guy. What am I going to talk to people about personal wellness and health and things? He said, don't worry about it, you're the right guy. I'm like, Charlie, I'm a fat guy. I like to eat, drink, and smoke. I said, come on. I said, this isn't it. He said, you're a leader. He said, and I know you'll do the right thing during this project. So as a leader, I've always been told that it's your job to set the right example. So I bought just a bike, went out, rode a mile, 2 miles a night. Nothing too major to start. Took a while and I started to feel a little better. Then I started 5 miles a day. Then I started to notice I was losing weight. Now the first thing I did when I went home after I got done exercising was I'd stand outside and cool off and have a cigarette. Not the healthiest way to spend your time after exercise. So I stopped smoking. I was a pack-a-day smoker for 15 years, and I've been smoke-free for 5.5 months now. The next thing was to challenge my associates and work on that process of the personal sustainability. So we started a coast-to-coast challenge. They knew I was riding a bike every day, and they said, well, I'll bet you we could race you across the country. Now, if you track I-70 across the country, it's 2,083 miles coast to coast. So we started the tracking process. All the associates could log how many miles they walked, ran, or jogged as exercise. Normal daily walking didn't count, and they would track against my biking. We had 70 associates track 1,600 miles in 68 days. They were doing good. I finished in 68 days. I averaged 31 miles a day.
Yeah. It is look good.
I lost 50 pounds in the process and had a lot of fun. We had 70 associates participate, and that was the best part. The project is really about the individual. I would tell you, when I started the process, I didn't think I could ride a bike across the country in 68 days or 6 months, for that matter. But what I learned is it's about one person, one individual, the power of one person and what you can do and set the right example. Now, you don't have to change your entire lifestyle, start a major exercise program. It's the simple things that matter. It's the power of one person. It's as easy as changing a light bulb, carpooling, or even riding a bike. The challenge goes out to you. You're the leaders of the company. This process starts with you. What's your PSP?
Hi, everybody. I'm very honored to be here today, and I'm so honored also to have a leader like Mike Cantner as a general manager at this point in my life. I've held a lot of titles in the years of working with Sam's Club, but this is the title that I'm most proud of, Captain of Sustainability. My inspiration starting out with sustainability was to help my family, to help combat autism among our youth, childhood obesity, heart disease among women. These are things that are motivating me, but I'm so proud to be a part of something that's valuable and good. I've always known that our company is valuable and good. I've stayed here my life since I was a junior in high school. I've always known that there was going to be a part and a time that I was called to something that I care so deeply about. And I'm so glad that Lee Scott has this vision for the company, has this vision for the world, because there's two things that I do know. I have one life, and I have one planet to live on, and it's going to be my responsibility to motivate others through kindness, through support, and through a kind word and a smile every day to help them with what their sustainability is. So I hope that you go back and pray to yourself, to look inside your heart and find out what it is that you want to change about your life, and then motivate others to do the same. Thank you for this opportunity. I have had a wonderful time and a wonderful journey so far, and I'm not going to let anything stand in my way to keep this going. And it's the year for Indiana, I do believe. You got me, you got the Colts, and you got John Mellencamp. Go Indiana, go the Heartland, and remember it's in your heart as well.
I think you've seen 3 great examples of PSPs. You've seen how Mike's affected his club. You saw how Kim affected her family, and how mine's have gone out into the community. All you got to do is find something you're passionate about, inspire someone else to join you, and you can really be a part of one of the greatest things that this company's ever launched. I mean, this truly could affect the world, and we have enough associates that we can make a difference.
want to thank you for the job that you did last year. I want to thank you for your leadership. I'm so proud of the leadership that you had last year in this company. It was a challenging year, no doubt about it. Sales were tough. Second half really got tough. But y'all pulled together. We changed direction a lot on you, didn't we? Yes, we did. And we did it too much. But we did it because we thought we could improve sales, and we did make some things happen. And we did it because of the faith that we have in you that the clubs can execute, and you did a great job. We want to thank you for that. We also had some very critical communications to our associates, and you did a great job of handling that, and the leadership you provided on that, I can't thank you enough. So thank you. Last meeting, weeks after, I was out in the field, and I talked to some of our key associates and some of our managers, and they told us that they didn't get really any communication back from what happened at our meeting. We're 3,500 here. We're 105,000 strong in the field. We need 105,000 people heading in the same direction. So I challenge you, will you communicate to every manager and every associate when you get back? It's important, and we're counting on you. But at this time, I'd like to talk about some of the key things that I think are really important that we understand as we leave this meeting today. First of all, I think it's important that we understand that segmentation is how we are aligning our organization to be more relevant to our members. It comes down to just putting the right stuff in the right clubs for the members, what they want. That's what's important. That's what we're doing. That's how we're aligning our company right now today. So it's important that you understand that there's not a lot of things that you drastically have to go back and change and do. Now, you're going to go back and you have to get a feel for the category changes, and that's going to take some time. But you don't have to change. We still take care of members. We ring the registers. We have great service. Our associates take care of members, one member at a time. I think it's also important that you understand that we are a merchandise-driven company that is evaluated by our comp sales growth. Are we going to get aggressive about sales this year? We've got to get aggressive after sales. We have great merchandise, but I'll ask you this. When you get up in the morning and you get in your car and you're heading to the club and you're fired up about selling stuff, which one are you? There's a different outcome to each of these, okay? Do you take what comes at you, or do you aggressively go after it? We have to aggressively go after sales this year. We are a merchandise-driven company, and we're going to go sell some merchandise. We have great merchandise. We have great merchants. We got to get aggressive. We're going to sell some stuff this year. Next, I think it's important that you understand that membership drives sales and profits. You also need to understand that there are no silver bullets. And I think we were maybe guilty of that some last year, that we develop a new program and we run and maybe we thought Plus could do something, or we ran a group membership. Everything has to be intact. Our basics have to be sound, and we have to get that done together as a team. But we're going to continue to drive programs that are going to enhance your membership department so you can sign up more members and have more effective membership in your clubs today. We owe you that. We're going to give you tools so you can sell Plus better, like our arrangement we just did with Expedia. That's a big deal. It's going to help you sell Plus. Those type of things will make a difference, and we're going to continue to do that. But we need to make sure, just remember, one of the best tools you have about driving membership in your club is a great club with great service and great associates where members want to shop and find merchandise. Next, I think it's important that we understand that this year we will have the best club standards, period. This is one that myself and the operations team are going to circle and say we're going to move the needle this year. Now, we have some outstanding clubs, but we have too many misses, and we have clubs that are maybe average. But this year, we're going to be aggressive about improving club standards. So I'd ask you, how does your club represent the company today? And just think about it for a second. If we showed up with a film crew tomorrow and filmed a driving sales video to show the company how aggressive you and your team is about going after merchandise and driving sales and what club standards should look like, is your club ready? If not, why? And if not, when? We're also going to recognize our top performers and have some fun with this at the clubs that are getting it done. Sustainability. We rolled this out a year ago at your beginning meeting. And I want to thank you for a great start. Our company achieved a lot this last year. I feel a lot of that was driven corporately, and rightfully so. And this year, we're going to help you take it to the next level. Because I want you to make sure you think of the bigger picture of sustainability. You saw these associates up here talking about personal sustainability. It's bigger than just recycling. And if you read this quote, sustainability is simply about actions that support quality of life now and for generations to come. It's a pretty powerful statement. Basically says my grandchildren's grandchildren get to enjoy the same or better planet that I do now by the actions I take today. I think it's important we understand that we will improve members' lives one member at a time. Did y'all feel good about the members that have been on stage this last week? Doesn't it remind you why we do what we do? They're real people trying to be successful, one member at a time. So whether it's a C-store member needing a candy item for their business, or a mom needing a cake for a child's special party, we're going to take care of them one member at a time. I think it's important that you understand that there are a lot of people depending on you. And we saw a lot of these incredible associates up on stage this week, didn't we? Weren't you proud to have those associates up on stage? What a privilege to serve them, and what a responsibility. So many people are looking to you for guidance, for direction, to be recognized out of the crowd that they have more potential than they thought they ever had, and to go places they never thought they could go. Don't ever underestimate your role as a leader and the people that are looking at you. So what is commitment? What does commitment look like today? So I'm going to ask you, are you committed? 18A, are you committed? 18B, are you committed? 18C, 18D, 18F, Sam's Club, are you committed? Thank you so much for what you do. Let's end this meeting with a cheer. Give me an S, give me an A, give me an M, give me a H, give me an S. What's that spell? Who's number one? Let's have a great year. Thank you.